Let me ask you a question before we start. Have you ever felt tired even on the days when you didn't do any hard work or put significant efforts? So, where is this tiredness coming from? That tiredness is not physical, it's because of unfinished thinking. Today, I will talk about a mental tool that will help you get out of this mental tiredness and improve the clarity of your mind by decluttering it. And it's absolutely free of cost. The tool I am talking about is journaling. In this video, I want to show you how journaling works, what science says about journaling, and how you can use it without forcing yourself. So stay with me because by the end of this video, you will see journaling very differently. When your mind gets clarity, it performs optimally. So without any further ado, let's dive into the core discussion. Recently, I was talking to one of my friends, and he said that he has been journaling over the last 1 month. At first, I was really impressed, but then he started revealing something. And he said that nothing got improved in the last 1 month, even after journaling every single day. And still, he feels confused, anxious, and stuck in life. So I asked him a very simple question: what do you write every single day? And then he replied, I just write whatever happens. And that's when I realized something important. He wasn't journaling to think, he was journaling to record. And he's not alone. That one mistake is why people quit journaling after doing it for a few days. When I committed the same mistake in my life for a few months, then I started realizing that I was not going in the right direction. And then I did a holistic research on this subject and got to know about the right methods of journaling that I will share with you today on this video. Journaling is not bookkeeping. It's not about recording everything that happens in your life because your life doesn't need more records, it needs more understanding and realization. It's about slowing down your thoughts, separating what actually happened from the story you told yourself, and processing what truly matters. So let's reset the definition for a moment. In psychology, journaling is studied as expressive writing, a concept introduced by Dr. James Pennebaker from the University of Texas. Journaling is not about recording life, it's about processing experiences. Your mind thinks fast, writing forces it to slow down, and when thinking slows down, patterns appear. Have you ever noticed how something feels overwhelming in your head, but once you write it down, it looks smaller? That's not motivation, that's neuroscience. Journaling works through three mechanisms, and I want you to remember these three because they explain everything. The first one is cognitive offloading. Our brain has limited working memory, and unwritten thoughts take up significant mental space. But writing it down clears that space. That's because your mind feels lighter after writing. Not because problems vanished, but because your brain finally unloaded them. A study published in the journal Experimental Psychology found that when people wrote about stressful thoughts, their working memory performance improved by 20 to 23%. Emotional regulation. Here is something fascinating. Brain imaging studies from UCLA shows that when you put emotions into words, activity in the amygdala, the brain's alarm system, goes down. At the same time, the activity in the prefrontal cortex, the thinking and regulating part of your brain, goes up. So when you journal, you are not suppressing emotion. You are teaching your brain to regulate it. Narrative correction. Do you notice that you keep telling yourself the same stories about your life? Research by Pennebaker along with another scientist shows that when people rewrote emotional experiences into coherent narratives, their stress hormone reduced and long-term well-being improved. That means journaling updates our outdated internal stories. And most people don't need new motivation. They need a new narrative. Till now, we have talked about how journaling works. Now let me talk about some of the most effective benefits of journaling. Journaling improves our mental health. A large meta-analysis published in Clinical Psychology Review found that expressive writing consistently reduces symptoms of anxiety and depression. When you journal, you are not trying to feel better. You are trying to understand yourself better through self-awareness. And understanding automatically reduces suffering. It's a document of your failures, mistakes, silly as well as important decisions and success stories. All this important information will help you in your journey to personal development and growth through self-analysis. Even in future, before taking any major decision, you can look up to your past decision and their consequences and learn from them. It helps you explore who you really are. Physicalizing your thoughts, you discover yourself truly. It's the healthiest way to get out your emotions because this is the space for you and you alone. No one is going to judge you here. You can express your authentic and raw self on paper while journaling. It acts as ultimate creativity booster. Research shows that people who journal on daily basis, their creativity improves over time. It's your story in the making. In future, if you achieve something and want to write a story on your life, you can get a lot of references from your journaling. Even some incidents that you would have forgotten about yourself if that was not written on your journal. And the final benefit I will talk about is the improvement in physical health. James Pennebaker's study shows that people who journaled had stronger immune responses, visited doctors less often. A study in psychosomatic medicine found faster wound healing in people who practiced expressive writing. Unprocessed stress keeps the nervous system activated. An activated nervous system tells the body we are not safe. Journaling, on the other hand, sends the opposite signal because it processes our unorganized thoughts and reduces stress. Most people fail to journal because they use the same tool for all the problems. But that's not the right way. Let's fix it. You can't take the one-size-fits-all approach because there are different types of journaling and you have to apply the process or method that is suitable as per your own circumstances and requirements. The first one is expressive journaling. This is the raw form. You can use it when something is emotionally unresolved and you feel stuck, heavy, or irritated without knowing why. In expressive writing, you should focus on your innermost honest feelings about a specific subject. You can write about conflicts, trauma, or major life events that have impacted your life, like a breakup, loss, or job change. Explore topics that you have been avoiding or that keep you awake at night. Move beyond just describing what happened to exploring how it made you feel and why. The next one is gratitude journaling. Here you should focus on small, often unnoticed positive moments of your day. People who have impacted your life or brought you joy. Reflect on your own efforts and achievements, even if it's small. And things usually taken for granted, like the ability to walk, breathe easily, or have a pain-free day. Here are 5 questions that will help you practice gratitude journaling effectively. What made me smile today? What is something I am better at today than yesterday? Who made my day better? What did I enjoy doing today? What's a challenge I am thankful for because it helped me grow? The next one is problem-solving journaling. When you are stuck in life and unable to take any decision, then you can practice it. Define the problem. Clearly write down the specific issues to stop circular thinking. Explore emotions. Process the feelings surrounding the problem to reduce their intensity. Brainstorm solutions. List potential solutions no matter how small and analyze them. And create an action plan. Outline concrete steps, set goals, and track progress over time. It increases clarity and perspective, strengthens working memory, and improves decision making. Now the last type, reflective journaling. Here you write about your experiences, thoughts, and feelings to analyze them, gain insights, and improve learning or self-awareness. Moving beyond simple note-taking to deep thinking, problem-solving, and personal growth. If you are writing about an incident, you can ask these questions. What did actually happen? What did I feel or think? What pattern does this belong to? What was good or bad about it? What did I understand or learn? What else could have been done by me? Through reflective journaling, you stop reacting to moments and start understanding yourself. Now we are getting into the most important part of this video, that is how to journal consistently even if you are lazy, busy, or unmotivated. Because even after watching till this point, if you don't learn how to journal consistently, your entire effort will be futile. So please stay tuned. Instead of motivating you to journal, I'm going to design a system where journaling happens even without motivation. Stop treating journaling as a habit. Rather, treat it as a tool you pull when needed. Here is the first mistake people often do. They try to journal daily initially. Daily habits sounds powerful, but they fail because they create guilt loops. Chill, you don't have to do it. Initially journal for 3-4 times a week. When you feel mentally heavy, you are stuck on a decision, or emotionally reactive. This removes pressure and helps you maintain consistency, and over the time you gain momentum. Reduce the entry cost to near zero. Most people don't avoid journaling because it's hard. They avoid it because starting feels expensive. You design a rule and keep it as simple as possible, like 1 page daily or maximum 10 minutes. Research on habit formation shows the smaller the starting action, the higher the consistency. Never ask yourself, what should I write? Use fixed prompts. Open-ended question journaling kills momentum. Give them a default template. I have already talked about some questions that you can ask while writing. Never reread your journal immediately. This is subtle but powerful. Research on self reflection shows immediate rereading increases self judgment. On the other hand, delayed reflection increases insight. So don't reread for at least 7 days. Reread only to spot patterns, not to relieve emotions. Just remember one thing: journaling is for processing, reviewing is for learning. And finally, anchor journaling to an existing routine. Don't create a new time slot. Your brain hates new routines. Rather, you should connect it with an existing habit. Like after brushing teeth at night, after morning tea or coffee, right after a workout, before sleep. Behavioral psychology calls this habit stacking. That's all about journaling, a free tool that creates consistency in how you think, decide, and live, and gives your mind clarity by removing all the clutters.